Welcome, everybody. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I created a program called the Strong Learning Reading Intervention Program for Struggling Readers. And it's reading success without stress, guaranteed. I created this over the years. I'm here a very long time. And I've had a private practice with kids who are struggling in reading. And I have to tell you, between the dyslexia, the ADD, and the anxiety that is so high, you get children who are not reading because they can't focus. There are so many issues. So I put this together. I'm going to go through a whole overview of what you just bought. And again, if you need me to come back for another hour, I'll come back, because it's very confusing at the beginning, but it's very simple. This is it. You bought 3 parts of the program. You have all 3 parts there. You downloaded the assessment. It's critical, because what I found, I don't know about you, if any of you are reading teachers or you've tutored children, you get reports from the school, they're reading, they're in 10th grade and they're on 3rd grade 6th month, or they're on 2nd grade 8th month. I don't know what it means. Okay, it's been so frustrating to me over the years. I'm going to go through that phonics assessment. See if there's someone there that you can teach how to do the assessment. So there's always 2 people or someone else that can jump in. Then once you do the assessment, you find out what they're missing. If you've had a background in reading, you know there are 44 phonemes that the whole English language is made up of. I put it together by playing games. And here I have, you'll see if you're if you're in the K through 5, you're going to get the beginning, decoding, and fluency. That's what you will see when you open the box. And I'm going to show you all this in detail soon. And then if you're in the middle school and high school, you're getting all in orange, the bottom row. Decoding, again, the phonics and the fluency. Then on top of it, you see you had downloadable packets so that you can run off as many as you need. And if a child is still struggling, just go back and do it again. They love it because they're getting it right. And I had one child, she did it 3 times. She goes, I think I've got it. I mean, she was so excited because just do it again. Kids love to repeat and they love to get it right. The games are successful because it keeps them focused because they want to win, and it lowers the anxiety. Okay, and then they want to play again, and they want to play again. There's your practice. Kids will say to me, can we play again? I'll go, sure, you want to? Yeah. It works. Things you should know about the program. Here are the 7 things. Number 1, it's based on the 5 pillars of reading. I don't know how many, just do any of you know what that is at all? And you don't have to. Oh, okay. If you have a background in reading, you're going to know the 5 pillars of reading. Because programs come out and they're just on phonics, or they come out and they're just whole language. This has all 5 pillars of reading in the program. I'm going to go into that in detail. It finds the cause of the student's reading problem. Okay, I don't care what grade level they're on. Okay, and it's critical to find the cause. It follows the Orton-Gillingham approach. Okay, how many of you almost know Orton-Gillingham? All that is 2 doctors' names who got together, I think it was 1930s, 40s, something like that. And they said, these kids seem to be too bright. Why can't they read? And they were dyslexic. They didn't know. They used to think it was reading backwards. It has nothing at all to do with that. Many of the children with dyslexia have difficulty, and I'm going to go into a little bit of that today. Everything I'm going to mention, we can always have another session again if you want to go into more detail with it. Number 4, it's game-based and play-based. There is so much research done on students. They even did one here in New York City at Hunter College with a college biology class. And they had them only play games with the information. They learned it quicker and they retained it longer. Okay, they've done research, and play-based learning, it's how children learn. It's so normal. It's so organic. So everything we have is play-based. And when people go, oh, no, I don't want my kids sitting with playing cards and playing, they're not going to learn. That's how children learn. So that's the whole program. Because it's game-based, number 5, it lowers that anxiety and it raises the attention. And as I said before, it provides unlimited, purposeful, playful practice. So they'll play and play. Okay, now let's begin with what are the 5 pillars of reading I keep talking about. You have phonemic awareness, which I'm going to go into and explain what that is in a little while again. You have phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. A good reading program must have all 5 things in it. Okay, otherwise, some child can do well one way, another one learns another way. Let's begin only with what is phonemic awareness, phonics, and fluency. That's where the card games come in. It's all repeated again in the practice packs, but the practice packs have more to do with writing and playing, doing crossword puzzles, finding words, with spelling. It's not playing games with each other. It's seat work. And as I said, if that child, you do another assessment and you see they're still there, just do it again and they'll love it. Repetition, they love doing something they can get right. Begin with phonemic awareness. But what is that? The phonemic awareness is the child has to be able, it starts with hearing. You'll find most children who they find out are really struggling with phonics or they're really struggling with reading. They don't hear the differences. I send the children to an auditory processing specialist. And they do that. If they have that disorder, they can't separate the sounds. You can hear it. Some hear it. They've done MRIs of the brains of the dyslexic children. The actual neurons are missing. But only 1 in 5, or some studies say 1 in 6 people have dyslexia. So everyone, they're saying, well, the whole school has dyslexia. That's why they're not reading. No, you only have a few people with it. So you're looking at these children you're with after school. Why aren't they reading? Could they have dyslexia? They don't. If they do, they don't list. They can't do rhymes. And I'm going to show you this. And that's a hint when the child is 2, 3, 4, and you're doing a rhyme and you're saying what word comes next. They can't do it. And you're going, what are they doing? You're not listening. They may not be able to do it. Children who have water or fluid in their ears, and they always are putting tubes and they're doing all these, those kids end up struggling in reading because it's during birth, 1.5 maybe. That's when you're taking, that language. If people aren't talking to them, if they're speaking to them in another language, many of the children come from homes where English is the second language. If that's the problem, they don't know what rhyming means. One of my tutors called, she said, I'm giving her the test. She can't do the rhyming. So we found out both parents were immigrants. They were both superintendents of schools, which is interesting. So they made it to the top intellectually. They got there, but they were only speaking to her in Spanish. And so she never knew what rhymes were. She didn't, this precious little girl, 5 years old, most adorable thing, but she was like lost. She couldn't pick it up. Phonemic awareness is number 1. Otherwise, you can't hear the sounds. What is phonics? Phonics is so simple. As I said, we have 44 different sounds. They're called phonemes. In the dictionary, when you open the dictionary and they have all those little words and little symbols, there's your 44 sounds. So when you say t or you see the letter T on a page, you're going to say, you see TH, you're going to go, that's all reading is. That's all it is. And then it's putting all those together as words and then comprehending it, making sense out of it. That's the comprehension. Can you make sense out of reading? Okay, so let's go on to the next. Here's your assessment. If you have it, pick up your assessments if you're holding them near you, because I'm going to show you now. And again, if you ever need, just call me. Say, okay, I'm doing this. They got stuck here. I'm not sure what to do. Call me up. Okay, someone here will help you. And if I'm sitting here, I'm going to pick up the phone and help you. It just makes so much sense. And I've seen so many kids start to read after they've been through program after program after program. Okay, pick this up. When the directions, the purpose of this whole thing, read it. We don't have enough time because I have so much to go through to show you everything you're going to receive. When you have some time, just read the purpose of the assessment, and it's basically to, again, figure out what do they know. Let's go. Let's say you begin here on number, oh, this, by the way, is the examiner copy. Do you see the examiner copy has all the QR codes? My husband put this whole thing together so you can put a phone to it, and it's going to take you immediately to that particular phoneme, give you the rule, and it's also going to tell you how to say it. Okay, and it's my New York accent, so everyone has to take it and figure out how to deal with it with where they live. But it gives you exactly the sound of the word, the rule of the phoneme for when you're decoding, and some other tips. So we're going to get to this in a few minutes to show you how to use that. Let's go back to the student form. This is what you put in front of the child. Okay, you're going to have this form. That's what you put right in front of the child. And you point because they're going to be like, they're going to be all over the place. Go to 1. This is testing phonemic awareness, because you want to say immediately, is there some reason this child can't pick up reading? Okay. And you're going to actually point to A, and you're going to say, train cat B, which one rhymes with key? And when the child goes, train. Okay. Then you say clock, dog, frog. Which one rhymes with block? The child with dyslexia, the child who just cannot get those sounds, they don't hear, or maybe they weren't taught, or they came, as I said, they came from a home where they didn't speak English. They didn't know what this was. They didn't know what rhyming was. Mark it. If they get all 3 wrong, you know there's something else going on here. Not just that they missed something in school or they were absent. Mark it down. There's a card deck that's right next to rhyming for preschoolers. You can begin with that. It tells you, do you see, go right to 1. You see the little, there's an arrow, and it tells you exactly which super deck. We call them super decks simply because with every single deck, you can play up to 15 different games. And the kids have the choice, which empowers them. So go right to that super deck and start playing with them. If they get just 2 wrong, but they suddenly get it, just move on and just go to the next market. And so that, you know, you may have to go back and help them with this a little. Okay. But in any case, you're going to end up moving on. Don't stay too long on that, because that's just showing where they're coming from. Okay, next. The next line you're going to see, which I don't have circled in blue, but your next line is the alphabet in random order, uppercase, lowercase. Do you see it all on your good? Some of the teachers have said to me, no, I'm not going to do, I'm just going to skip that. I don't care if you have a ninth grader. Do the alphabet. Over all these years I've been here, I have had kids in here who don't know every letter. Okay. And wait till I get to the sounds. I had a 10th grade boy here, and I had a tutor working with him for SATs. And she said to me, something is wrong. I don't know what it is. He was bright. He was able to read, but just so slow. He had severe dyslexia, and he was so bright, he was able to compensate. But he didn't know W. He got, when I did this, he said, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It sounds like it should be W. There should be two U's there. Never could figure that out. Teachers are not going to see that. He's in, you know what school's like. You're on a conveyor belt. You're just moving. Okay, now, next, I circled your consonants and your consonant blends and digraphs. Again, I had just a month ago, I had an 8th grade boy struggling in school, struggling. We get to S and he says, shh. We get to SH, he goes, shh. So I said, do you see a difference? No, I don't know I don't know why one has an H next to it. Do I go, huh? He's in 8th grade already. They miss it. So the whole point of this assessment, find out what it is. And then you may be very simple. Okay. Now let's move on. This is okay. 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 And my husband just reminded me to tell you, in a subsequent assessment, when you're assessing again to see, okay, how they doing? Okay, after you play the games and you do all the practice packs, and you look, go to where you think they are. You don't have to go back to the beginning, ever. Okay, it's only this first time, but make sure you'll be able to see what's happening. The next thing, okay, suppose you're with your K through 5. You could even be with the older kids and you're going through it. So we only sold you the more advanced for the middle school and high school. If you find that they're missing this, call Andrea, contact her, see what to do, or call me. They may have missed the beginning. Okay. This is the actual, I'm showing here. Suppose they go along and it's CVC words. Well, you go to your CVC and they tell you exactly what deck, exactly what practice pack to do. You can go here. Suppose they missed those endings, the word endings, us and sure and sure. They takes you right back and you go right next to it. It tells you what to do. And then if you go on to the teacher's assessment, the examiner's assessment, you just have to put your phone over and take you right to that, and they'll tell you how to say the sounds. Okay, so it's all there for you. This one I threw in because going back to this part of the test, you see where it's gray? You see that gray line? On yours, it's number 5A. 5A. Say to the child, turn this over and say, tell me the vowels. That is the place that most kids get stuck. They get those consonants, they get the blends, except that boy that thought sh and was the same. Somehow they missed it. Because once he was reading, they probably never went back to say, why is he still struggling? Turn this over so they don't see the vowels and ask them for the vowels. I have middle school, high school, and they're going, A, G, U, W. They don't have it. They must have those vowels because you've got to get the short vowel sound and the long vowel sound. What I came up with years ago, it just works. IOU. Because so many people spend so long just on vowels and learning them. They'll learn it in 30 seconds, 15 seconds. I say to them, I owe you money. And they just think that's the funniest thing. And a lot of them know the saying already. So I go, I owe you money. So I said, tell it back to me. They go, I owe you. And they love it. So I said, what are the letters? I owe you. I said, just put an AE in front. And I'm telling you, it's less than 30 seconds. And during the session, I'll usually say, what are the vowels? They'll go, I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. And they're so proud of themselves. They are so excited. These could be 12-year-olds. They never learned it. And don't spend time on it. That's all you have to say to them. Okay, next, I'm going to show you the examiner assessment. Again, what I keep talking about. You just put your phone right over the QR code, and what you're going to get, let's say they got stuck on R-controlled vowels. Okay, you put it right over R-controlled vowels, and you're going to, they'll say the whole little video is only 42 seconds. And it's going to literally tell you the rule, R-controlled vowels, if the vowel is followed by, so you have everything here. There's the rule, and then the little bouncing ball will go A-R as in car, E-R as in flower, I-R, and you'll just go right along. The ball will go along with you. Then it's going to tell you practice R-controlled vowels using, okay, the practice pack and using the super deck, and they tell you which ones again. So we sponsor you. What is it?
That's also printed on.
Okay, and it's also right on your assessment. We're doing whatever we can just to help you out. So now that's your assessment. That's 1/3 of the program, but it's 1, 2, 4 sheets of paper. Critical. Next, once you know, okay, this child's struggling because they don't have vowel digraphs, let's say. You can go to your card games, or you can go to your practice pack. The majority of children, because I created this and I was having testing, and every summer I'd have everybody in again from all different districts. And I was doing this my whole life seems, and every kid wants to play the card games. They want those card games. They love it. And when they leave, I say, did you do any reading? And they go, no. I mean, they would look at I'd have all these books up, and I go, which one do you want to read? I've read them all. They don't want to read any. They would just say, and I go, no, I read every one of them. And I play the games. They would play the whole time, and I'd say, you never read? Nope. They could be middle school. They could have been 5th graders. Doesn't matter. Or I had one little girl, she said, no, I don't really like playing cards. She just loved doing the practice pack over and over. And I'll show you what's in that in a few minutes. Okay, so you decide with the child, actually, which just empowers them, and you've got them with you now. So now there's phonemic awareness. There's your phonics, fluency. When do you do fluency? It's usually when you see they're decoding so slowly. Okay, they go very slow. And now what fluency is the ability to read smoothly and accurately with expression. Quickly. It's how quickly can you put a sound to that symbol on the page. And when they're going so slowly, you already bought this. It's there for every phonics deck. Like you're going to have this with long vowel digraphs. You bought this. There's a matching one, another deck, and it's long vowel digraphs, fluency. And now I took every word in the phonics, the decoding pack, and I made up silly little sentences. And the kids, I must tell you, they panic at first. And I go, no, I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I want to play the other game, because that anxiety goes up. The other games have one word. Okay. This has a sentence. Like this one, the word in the practice pack was cider. If you look over at the yellow deck on the corner, upper right corner, cider. So I made up a sentence. Cindy makes apple cider from fresh apples. The next one was luggage. Please take my luggage to the gate. And that's the hard and soft C and G rules. And I made some funny, silly ones for the younger children. Okay. And they first see it, they panic because there's too many words. You go, I'll help you. just read it. I'm going to tell you the words. It's fine. And they start doing it. After one game, every game takes approximately 15 minutes. That's it. And each, the things in the practice pack, the stories take 15 minutes, the plays about 15 minutes. You can do a few other activities together for the 15 minutes. So set up everything in little things of 15-minute this, and we'll do 15 minutes this. But by the end of playing Go Fish or any game, they're reading them so quickly because they had to read it over and over again. And all of a sudden, and you say to them, wow, how did you do that? You're amazing. And they go, I don't know. It's because they're doing it. They're literally, it doesn't matter. They have to learn to read. Doesn't matter what they're playing or doing, just do it. Okay, now, the games, as I keep saying, the children select the games. I'm just going to show you. We have 15 different games. You have this. It's on our website. I think it's in the practice pack, or it's up on the directions. And if you just go to stronglearning.com and you just click directions. And okay, now you select the super deck or the practice pack by testing them. The student selects the game. This, and I've had this boy came in an hour every week. Every week he chose memory. Every single, and I would say to him, he was like already in 6th grade. And I say, but doesn't matter, by the way. They're practicing. Every week I'd say, do you want to play something else? He'd go, no. I go, why do you want to play memory? Because you always lose. That's what he told me. He says, because I know I'm going to win. I said, well, I don't have a good memory. I can't remember this. And he goes, I know you're really bad at it. Do you want me to help you at all? I said, no, I won't cheat. And the kids, I'll be playing go. One kid every week was only Go Fish. And he said, of course, I don't have to think. It's so easy. I know what to do. And you never win. And I have to say, do I cheat a little sometimes? In memory, especially? I'll turn over something. I know where the match is. And I go, oh, I can't remember. And they're going, it's there. I go, no, you're trying to trick me. And they go, no, it's there. And they really want to help. They are so precious. Because I always ask a parent, whoever drops them off, I don't care if it's a grandparent, the mom, the dad, to stay with me for the hour. I know most people tell them to leave. They're with them every day. So I send the cards home with them. And I say, here, I'm modeling what to do. And they come back in and they'll say, if I play Go Fish one more time, and they come because the kid wanted to play because they're winning. And I tell parents, don't worry about cheating a little bit. They have to get that confidence so that okay, it's just remember, you're trying to teach them to read. It's all about the reading. Okay, there. Now here's memory. I recommend, oh dear, it's 1/4 of. Memory, I would begin whether you're with a 5-year-old, a 15-year-old. It doesn't matter. Whatever deck you end up with, begin with memory. The little ones, they can't handle because there's 48 cards. Every deck has 24 pairs. 24 pairs of everything. And as I said, you can take any deck and you still play the same game. So the kids know the games by heart. They know better than the teachers. But for the little ones, take out pairs. I would say begin with them with maybe 5 pairs. They only have 10 cards. Or if someone's struggling and they're already in 5th, 6th grade and they're just struggling, so take out the others, make it so easy for them. And then as you see them knowing certain sounds, remove them and replace it. Then said, you want to add another pair? Kids love it. Yes. Add 2 pairs. I had one board had it all over the table, not in a square like this. Impossible. You can't do it. Make sure you keep the square. Whatever you do, keep even numbers. Okay. And then you see on the bottom, go right there and they're going to show you how to play. We actually made little videos of playing the game. You'll actually see people, probably us, or some other people that we pulled in here. Okay, that's begin with memory. Once they're confident, they love Go Fish. They love it. Little ones, 5, 6, even 7-year-olds struggle a little because they can't hold the cards. And even if they use the thing in front of them, the little wooden board, it's harder for them. But once they're 7, 7.5, 8, fine. They love the Go Fish. And when you're playing, if you're playing, let's say 4 or 5 kids around the table, and you go, I have fish. Does anyone have fish? Don't ask one child. Anyone in that group has to give it to you, and you have a pair. Okay. Now, my husband and I cheat a little, making up the directions on a lot of these games because parents have come in and said, I didn't play that way as a kid. I go, yeah, I know. I want them to learn to read. And so if they're looking to see if they have fish in the hand, they're going to give it to that person who called it, because we switched the rules a little. The winner is the first student without any cards in the hand. They yell, I win, because I just used my last card. So they get rid of a card by giving it to someone who asks. Otherwise, the kids hold on to them and they don't want to give it to them. But we switched it around a little just to encourage them to get rid of it. I keep saying, no, give it to your mom. She's asking, you can have one less card. Whoever ends up, the winner is the one with no cards left. Okay, that's Go Fish. Bingo, you can do with the whole group if you want. If you see here, the bingo boards are blank. In every super deck, every card deck, there's a card called the word list. It gives you the 24 cards, the 24 words or symbols or whatever's in that deck. Okay, you always end up with 48 cards, but they're your 24. They can take this list. You can enlarge it. If it's one child working with you, they just need this. If you have a group, they just enlarge it and tell them cross off the word as they put it on their bingo board. They have to write it. To learn to read, you can learn to read quicker if you do writing at the same time. Once you write it, you're using more brain cells and they can remember it much better. They write it. Okay, the little ones begin, or any of them really struggling, begin with only 9 square. Go to your 25 square when they're ready. Okay, when you feel that, and you say to you, I had a little 6-year-old little girl one day, just, I think I'm ready. I'm going to the 25 square. And by the way, I always teach the kids that if you get nervous, you have billions of neurons in your brain. And if you get nervous, they're connected by these things called dendrites. If you get nervous, they shrink. And you know that feeling, your mind goes blank. You go, don't bother me now. I can't think straight. That's because those dendrites shrink. And when you relax, they connect. And I had a little 12, I teach all the kids, especially what's happening in their brain. So one little girl said to me one day, she says, I can't continue. I can't wait. I think all my dendrites just shrunk. And she just sat and she waited. And she said, okay, I think we were doing fractions because we have all these cards. We have them in math. We have them in general knowledge. We have everything the kids want, Spanish to English, French. The Hebrew schools have asked me for them. They have them in Hebrew. It's just interesting watching these kids, how they work. But I let them know what's happening to them. So now let's move on. Here's your 9 square bingo. You see, you're looking at the word list and you're writing them in place. Then some people, the kids want to use that. You can use pennies, use whatever you want. I always have them put an X. They write on it because if they want to play again, they have to create another board. They're writing. And so many of them say to me, no, I don't want to use it. I didn't win. I put the words in the wrong place. Let me do it again. And I had a boy who was so dysgraphic, he wouldn't hand anything in school because he wouldn't write. He wouldn't write his name. He was already 7th grade. He was in a group with me and he's sitting and I saw him and I said, I didn't know what's going to look. Just write it any way you want. Oh my God, he just loved it. He played over and he kept looking at the words and writing it. And I'd say, do you know the word? I said, I'm not going to, no one's going to correct it. It's yours. It's your bingo board. So that's I call it write-in bingo. Read and write bingo. The writing will help them learn to read. Okay, now I'm just through this in. We don't have enough time. The older kids, gin rummy, they love. I once gave a whole group, here they were using chocolate chip cookies for putting in the middle, betting. My husband said, "You're teaching them how to gamble." I said, "I know, but they're learning the times table." They would come in early at our Saturday groups. They didn't even know each other. That's these two little boys met each other in one of the groups. And they'd come in early to play the multiplication card deck because they were, and then I gave them chips. I ran out of chocolate chip cookies and it wasn't that healthy. Anyway, so you then showdown. I don't have the time today. Fabulous game. It's one team against another in showdown. You say the word, they all have, you give half the deck to one team, half the deck to the other. So now they have 24 cards in front of them. And you go, okay, they come up with their own names. I wouldn't go past about 7 kids on a team. And don't do it with little 5, 6-year-olds. I even had a little 7-year-old boy walk over one day. He says, "I just can't do this anymore. This is just causing too much stress." He was so stressed out, the poor little thing. Okay, 8, 9, high school. I've done it training teachers in my program. They are screaming at each other to win. One woman was so abusive to the man on her team, yelling at him. And finally, someone said to me, "Don't worry about it. It's her husband." And she was just, they really get into it. And you just say a word. And then they have to find it. And it's the first team to come up with the word. And so talk about focusing. Okay, next. We have now done phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency. We still have vocabulary and comprehension. They come in with the practice packs. And the bottom row they're all the ones for the advanced phonics, which went to the middle school and high school clubs. The group on top are all the ones, the beginning phonics that went to the K through 5 clubs. Okay. Now, these practice packs, the first thing in all of them is a story. So now they can apply it. My stories that I wrote them all, we have no illustrations, but each story may be a page, 2 pages. And I have never had a child say to me, "There's no pictures." What I do is I have the children draw the pictures. There's your comprehension. If they have to draw the pictures, it's unbelievable. They get so, and they don't have, some just do, I mean, I tell them, I don't care. I'll draw a picture with stick figures and go, "That's what I would draw for this." And they go, "Oh, I'm much better than that." And the little guy, I shouldn't even say it's so sexist, but some of the little girls start with the rainbows and the rainbow colors, and everything has to be a certain color. I just let them because they're into it. They're doing it. Okay, drawing pictures. The stories begin, we go back with the stories to decoding and the fluency. But now it adds learning vocabulary. It adds the comprehension. Now, at the top of every story, in every practice pack, I first give the rule again. Like this one is on vowel digraphs. The 2 vowels go walking. The first one does the talking. So that the teacher always has the rule. If you're using volunteers, they will always have the rule in front of them. And again, they can go right back and they can look it up. I mean, just use the QR codes and they'll get the sounds immediately. Okay, so now we always have the rule. Then I include in the top box words that they will see in the story. There will be many, not some of them, of course I can't include all, but many of the words they're going to see in the story. And we go through it. When I'm with them, I usually say, "Who can find the word pie? Color it." And they love highlighters. I know you all know. I mean, highlighters is the best thing ever. And then color, and then I'll say, "You ask me." And they'll say, "Who can you find the word blueberry?" And I'll go, I don't know. I don't, give me a clue. And they go, second row is in the second row. And I'm looking and I'm looking, and I finally find that they're so sweet, the kids, when you know, they know you're their ally. So many kids see the teachers as their adversary. We wrote a book, my husband and I, Why Bad Grades Happen to Good Kids. And so many of these kids are so good. And they put the shell around themselves, and they try to act so macho, and they try to become whatever, because inside they feel so low. They're so embarrassed. Do you know, to go every day to schools, like going to work and you don't know what you're doing. It's a terrible feeling. Okay, now I also give another box, every story, other words, names, places. You can start anything. This was all about Thanksgiving and the vocabulary they're going to see. And they're new words, and they were all in there. They're all going to be in the story. So every story will have this. Then right after the story, you have reading comprehension. The little ones, the up through diphthongs, CVC through diphthongs, you will get, do you remember? But once I go to the higher level, the advanced, they draw what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end. Draw what you think happens next. Okay, they love this. And some kids, I've had some of the older kids saying, I have to draw. I hate to draw. Can I write it? Well, yeah, I love that. Can I write it? I mean, it can't be better. Okay, that's the comprehension. If you want to know just for yourselves, this whole program is based on this award-winning book we had done, Tale of Tiger Tuesday. And it tells the whole basis of where all these stories come from, because once you read this book, everything takes place on Tuesday Street with Tiger and his family and his pet dog and Frog. You see little Frog at Tiger's foot. And Tiger can talk to animals. They can communicate with him, which kids just love, the little ones especially. And every story is about this family. So they become part of this family. And high school kids, it's interesting. I've worked with middle school kids. I eventually go into, I've done driver's manuals with some of the high school kids to teach them to read because they want to go past their driver's test. But they don't care. They like the family. I tell them, take the story, and now you know what you're doing. Find someone 5 years old, 6, 3, 4, read it to them. If you don't have the book, we have it on YouTube. You just go to YouTube. And how do they get to it? The video's right there. And you show the class the video. Okay. Just search for the Tale of Tiger Tuesday. And it's about 10-minute video. And there's your story. And the kids love, do you know what? They see it, and then they'll come in and they're older, and we watch it again. I've had so many kids say, I want to read the book. And that's their goal. Can I read do you think I'm ready now to actually read the book? It's not, it's just a total fantasy. It has nothing to do with reading. So that tells you your story. Then every story that you're going to read with the kids in any practice pack comes with the story in script form. And now they don't memorize. We tell them you don't have to memorize it. And they highlight, I want to be Tiger. No, I want to be his brother. I want to be, no, I want to be, I want to be the mother. I want to be the narrator. Highlighters. They highlight, they even highlight my parts. We have scenery, in case you ever want, that you can put on a whiteboard or on television screen or somewhere. And so we have this, like, behind them, that's where they live. That's their home. So we did this one in front of that. We have puppets, and you're going to get the puppets in every one of your practice packs. The kids may want to just use the puppets. I have one teacher called me and says, I just want to share this. I made with a piece of construction tape. Everyone has where they can put like a headband, and I taped whoever they are in the play. So if they're the mother, the dad, the dog, the dog and the frog have parts, but they only go, they just bark. Okay. Or they just say ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. But the kids want to be those parts usually. So they actually attach it. Okay, so give the kids who are very young or kids who are still struggling, say, okay, you can do that part. Okay, if you have too many kids and not enough parts, double up. I've given narrator to, okay, you become narrator one, you'll, next time it appears, you'll be narrator two. It helps with fluency. And they've actually done studies that it helps many children who English as a second language. We don't know. I don't know why, but somehow once they start doing plays, they put themselves like in another role, and it seems to help. And they can practice at home. They can come back with it. We've invited parents in to see them. Many of the teachers videotape them, and then the whole group watches it, and everyone's giggling and laughing. But let me tell you, they love to be in a show. They love doing the puppets. You can use someone I know attached them to pencils and was using them that way. We have little stands on the back. But they, I have to say, someone moves with one arm and it's all on the floor. Okay, but the head thing, I just love that they all put it. She actually did it during COVID, because they were doing it on Zoom, and the kids would put in who they were, so everyone knew during Zoom who they were. Here they are. We have them standing, doing the plays. They're reading them. The whole goal, I tell them, don't memorize it. It's so much work. Just read it. And see all the highlighters? They're very busy highlighting. Here are the boys. They began, they were so scared, these two boys. And then they did them over and over. And we set up microphones and all kinds of things for them. Now you go to the writing, the encoding. Encoding is the opposite of decoding. Now here's an example of the giraffe. That's the super deck, the card deck for soft and hard C and G. You'll have that deck in your middle school and high school group. The LE, the ending, like when puddle, DLE, giggle, GLE. And that's also in the middle school to high school. But you're dealing with phonics again. Now you have spelling. Okay, here's one again from the LE, the puddle, the missing puddle. That one deals with science, but it's finding the code to break blah, 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 blah. So you have to break up the code to find the answer. The next one is rhyming. This will be in your younger grades. I took that out of the older ones. Phonics Fun is one I would use for every level. Phonics Fun, Tiger made a boat out of OA. What are your two sounds? But this one, of course, it's not in all of them. This one's only in your vowel digraph practice pack. And yet on Phonics Fun for the missing puddle, that's on a more advanced phonics pack. The puddle, and now it's going, is deep. You go, which one? It's going into, now that you've learned the rule, take your consonant, mix it with LE, dole, goal, okay, rimble, BLE. And now they have to remember the rule to figure out the spelling. You're getting a little higher level. The word jumbles. This one is young. This one's, and I give the word key. So they have to see it, and now they're seeing letter after letter, the continuity. Here's another word find. A different, that's CVC, that's your beginning. And then this one, a game, name, game. All working you back to your phonics, your phonemic awareness. And that's it. It's such a simple program, but it's so complicated at the beginning. Thank you all. Have a great day. Okay. Let me know how it goes. Take care.